A cisgender heterosexual woman can be in a relationship with a cisgender heterosexual man, a traditional couple where biological children are possible. She can also be with a heterosexual transgender man, and they may have children if he retains a uterus and ovaries. If the transgender man is homosexual, the relationship can still happen emotionally or sexually, and having children depends on their reproductive capacities. When this woman is with a bisexual cisgender woman, the relationship is viable, but children would require alternative methods. With a bisexual transgender woman, emotional or sexual connection is also possible, and children would need to come through non-biological means. A cisgender lesbian woman can form a couple with another cisgender lesbian woman, a common lesbian relationship where children are only possible through artificial insemination, adoption, or other assisted methods. If she is with a transgender lesbian woman, the possibility of children depends on the reproductive systems of both. In a relationship with a homosexual transgender man, biological children are possible if there is mutual desire and reproductive compatibility. A relationship with a heterosexual transgender man could also include shared parenting, though not necessarily biological reproduction. A cisgender bisexual woman can be in a relationship with a cisgender man, a heterosexual couple where biological children are possible. With a transgender man, children may or may not be possible depending on anatomy. With a cisgender woman, they would need alternative methods to have children. With a transgender woman, emotional or sexual connection is possible, and children would require non-natural means. A cisgender heterosexual man can be in a relationship with a cisgender heterosexual or bisexual woman, and biological children are possible. If he is with a heterosexual transgender woman, having children depends on her reproductive system. He might also be in a relationship with a bisexual transgender man, but biological children are unlikely. A relationship with a lesbian cisgender woman is emotionally unlikely and rarely occurs as a couple. A cisgender homosexual man can be in a couple with another cisgender homosexual man, forming a gay couple where children are only possible through adoption, surrogacy, or other methods. He can also be in a relationship with a homosexual transgender man with the possibility of children depending on the anatomy involved. With a bisexual or homosexual transgender woman, relationships may happen, but children would require alternative means. A cisgender bisexual man can be with a cisgender woman, forming a heterosexual couple with biological reproductive potential. He can also be with a cisgender man, forming a homosexual couple where children would require non-natural methods. A relationship with a transgender man may allow for children depending on their anatomy. With a transgender woman, the relationship can be either heterosexual or bisexual, with children dependent on medical or legal alternatives. A heterosexual transgender man can be with a cisgender woman. If he retains a uterus and ovaries, he can carry children. He can also be with a transgender woman, forming a heterosexual couple that requires alternative means to have children. A relationship with a cisgender man forms a homosexual couple, and the possibility of children depends on anatomy or technology. With another transgender man, the relationship can be homosexual or bisexual, with reproduction depending on individual biology. A homosexual transgender man can be with a cisgender homosexual man, forming a gay couple. Children may be possible depending on anatomy or by adoption. He can also be with another homosexual transgender man with similar reproductive considerations. Relationships with cisgender women may be possible, and children would depend on compatible reproductive systems. A bisexual transgender man can be in a relationship with anyone regardless of gender. If paired with a cisgender or transgender woman, reproduction depends on both individuals' anatomy. In relationships with cisgender or transgender men, the same conditions apply. His openness to multiple configurations allows for a wide range of relationships, though having children always depends on specific biological factors. A heterosexual transgender woman can be with a cisgender man, forming a heterosexual couple. Children would require surrogacy, adoption, or other methods. She can also be with a transgender man, forming another heterosexual couple with similar reproductive limitations. With a cisgender woman, an emotional relationship is possible, and children would need to come through alternative procedures. A lesbian transgender woman can be with a cisgender lesbian woman, forming a same-gender couple. Children are only possible via insemination, adoption, or assisted reproduction. She can also be with another transgender woman facing the same reproductive constraints. A bisexual transgender woman may be in a relationship with cisgender or transgender women or men. Reproduction always depends on the bodies of the individuals involved and, in most cases, requires non-natural methods due to the variety of combinations. These examples show that gender and sexual orientation create many possible couple configurations, some with biological potential for reproduction and others requiring medical, legal, or technological support. What determines the possibility of having children is not just identity or orientation, but reproductive compatibility, mutual desire, and access to the necessary resources.